God, you've all rocked up when I wasn't quite ready. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Um, how was the stream? I know how the stream was. It was a great stream, as always. Thank you for the excellent entertainment, Joe. Joe's just combing his hair 2 minutes. I'm not combing my hair. Oh, I can hear myself. I don't like that. Yeah, how are we? I'm hoping we're all good. Hoping we're all happy and jolly and yeah. Basically, this stream is going to be a nice little Sunderland preview, but we're going to have a nice natter, nice calm, chill conversation about everything where we don't lose our heads. And I remember to change my brand on StreamYard so it isn't that one. Yeah, I'm just generally hoping that we're all pretty good, pretty nice. But before we do the Sunderland preview, and this is going to be a just sort of housekeeping-y thing. I'm also going to be doing a video that I am going to record during this stream. Where's my pen gone? There's my pen gone. And I'm going to put up first thing in the morning. So you guys, you Just Your Raiders, the many of you, will get a first little sneak peek into the video that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow morning, which is nice. Typically, that's something only my channel members get. So enjoy. Right, let's put a start and an end time on it. In fact, I'll do a poll. I'll ask you guys what you fancy. Something's gone wrong here. There we go. Keyboard's having a time. Which would you guys rather do first? Do we want to do the Sunderland preview? Do we want to do Gruev injury chat? Which will include a little bit of... I've done Googling. I've done research. I know. I never do research. It gives me a headache. But I've done a little bit of research into the various bits and bobs around Gruev's injury so we can actually deep dive into it all and get a proper understanding of how long he's likely to be out. And that is going to be a potentially very, very long time if the various sources are correct, depending on what the specific surgery is. And it's not a fun surgery. But then again, when is a surgery a fun surgery? It'd be very surprising if there were many fun surgeries, I'll be completely honest with you. Right, quickly swipe that over there. Just check through the chat. We have a hell of a lot of Just Your Raiders, including Danny. I have not yet had a kip. I have eaten, but I've not. Yeah. Honestly, I think they won't score against us unless it's a mistake or a penalty. We will get into that in the Sunderland preview stuff. Spoilers. Hello, Baby Zebra, over in the Twitch chat. I've also got a Twitch chat. You can find that in the description below if you want to hop on over there. That'd be appreciated. We have, if not the best event in the league. Do you mean one of, if not the best? I think that's what you're aiming for. 1-1 for you tomorrow. Fair enough. Good evening, Kevin. Solomon without the same injury. That is a pretty big problem, I'd say. Meniscus injuries about it wiped out Solomon for a long time. Yes, and that is why I am going to cover that when we get into the Grove injury chat, which... that's annoying. The poll is currently 50-50. So I'm going to bring the poll to an end. I'm probably going to do Grove first because I've got that a little bit more structured, a little bit more ready and set. But we can dive headfirst into that in a moment. So I'm going to get it started at 4 minutes and then I will end it whenever I end it. But I think it's just an important thing to cover off before we get started, just because it's a little bit structured. So... Leeds United's injuries are getting significantly worse, and we did think the midfield was bad before. This was before Norwich. This was before that Ilya Gruev injury update, and it's a pretty big one. The thing with these updates is you'll get lots and lots of stuff leaked out from various sources who pretend they know what is going on at any given moment without actually knowing what's happening. This being an official source tells me that we can completely trust it, and we can trust that the bad news is big and bad and not great news. Officially announced by the club, Ilya Gruev is set for meniscus surgery, the meniscus being a bit of the knee. I didn't specifically Google which bit of the knee. 1 second, I'm going to double check that. But I have specifically Googled the vast majority of the main bits of what the meniscus do. So, I've now searched, so I can tell you, because I'm now an expert after a single Google search. Is in here. these bits. The meniscus is the bit that takes all the impact. The bit that, if you're running on it and your meniscus is knacked, everything hurts real bad. And having searched it, a sort of standard meniscus repair is something that, returning to sports overall can take 6 to 9 months if you have to have a meniscus repair surgery, which is a long ass time, which is the majority of, if not the entire football season. And you might think, well, surely that's a worst case scenario. It's not. Theoretically, it could be worse. Because depending on quite how bad said meniscus problem is, if it doesn't just need repair and it needs replacement, for meniscus replacement, patients may need to avoid physical activities for up to a year. Now, with all of this taken into account, and the fact that we have 7 months left of the season, it's looking like Ilya Gruev's season is done. Completely over. It doesn't look like there's going to be any way back for him. At best, this is best case scenario, he comes back early April. And at that point, we ain't got that many football matches left. I'm going to quickly check Leeds United fixtures, actually, just so I know like how many matches we might reasonably have left at that point. So, if we're assuming that he is back for the first game in April, then he'll be back for 7 games of football. If we're calling it mid-April, the 15th, he'll have 4. And if it's May, maybe he's back for the closing day against Plymouth. So that tells me that basically Ilya Gruev's season is done. Gone, finished, the end. So then you get the next big question of what now? Because it's a big question that we really, really need to answer. And in the short term, Tanaka-Rothwell is looking like the likely pairing that we'll end up with. Because Tanaka can play as a 6, Rothwell can also sort of play a little bit of a 6. And they're both sort of natural 8s. They can both do both of those jobs, and it sort of adds up-ish. But then what happens if one of them gets injured? What happens if one of them gets a knock? Or anything like that? In that instance, the other one ends up playing as the 8, and Charlie Crew might get some minutes, and you might look at that and think, fantastic. Youth player. We love a youth player. People are begging for Charlie Crew to play some. We're comparing him to Archie Gray, which I think is genuinely unfair to do to Charlie Crew, because Archie Gray is a next-level talent. But he might end up seeing minutes. Not even just by the end of the season. He might end up seeing starts if we get any further injuries or anything, which is not the situation that we want to be in when we are trying to push for promotion here. Add on to that, if Crew has an issue, if Crew isn't quite there, Strauch has played there a bit under both Bielsa and Marsh, so he can do it. He shouldn't do it, isn't very good at doing it, but he can do it. And in the event that a Solomon or a James is back, I guess you could put Solomon or Nonto in the 10. Aronson drops back into midfield. He can technically do that. Not to a good level. And that's when you get further thoughts, where you have to have talks about, okay, outside the squad, what's going on? Maybe free agent conversations. I was chatting with Lockie earlier, and in terms of the free agent chat, there's maybe 3 that we can reasonably look at. I'm just going to pull up some names. Edouard Michu apparently looked fairly reasonable when he was playing in Turkey, but Leo Lopez, former Football Manager legend, again, not been able to find a club, was supposedly on the verge of signing for Valencia fairly recently, but that's not happened. And a guy called Kramer, who has previously played for Daniel Farke. It's not what you need, though, realistically. And as Daniel Farke mentioned, all of these people haven't been in team training, all of these people haven't been up to speed for a while, so that's, again, more risk. Which is bad. And that makes January vastly important, because at best we've got Ethan Ampadu back. But even then, he might take a couple of weeks from that point to get his way back into the squad, because you need to reintroduce yourself to training. Because if you don't do that, problems. So January is going to be the biggest transfer window we've had for a very long time. And then that doesn't really cover the very, very short term of how we play against Sunderland. And I think the approach that we take against Sunderland is going to be somewhat safe. It's going to be what we did against West Brom. It's going to be what we did in the second half against Norwich. It's going to be, right, okay, cool. This team is going to be towards the top this season. The best thing that we can do here, realistically, is guarantee a point and then push on for the 3 if it looks like it's likely at any given stage. But I think going all guns blazing like we did against Coventry would be borderline suicide in this match. Because they are a side that is very, very clinical, very, very good, and could cause us quite a lot of issues if we're not careful. I think the way that we play will end up looking a bit West Brommy with the focus on the point, but more being the bonus. But at the end of the day, as always, that is just what I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, you could even become a channel member, that'd be massively appreciated. You get videos like this early if you're not on the live stream. I'm also doing this on the live stream as well, which if you see me live streaming, hop in, say hello. It's a really good time. But for the people on the live stream, we're going to head over to one of our favourite places, one of the best vibesy spots on the internet. We're heading over to Questions Corner. So if anyone in the chat has any questions at all, ping them in my direction. And if you are the first person to pop a question in the chat from the time that I've said this, well done, you've made it in the video. That's how I'll close out this video. I'll do the first question of Questions Corner. So I'm just going to wait that one out. I really, really want us to keep a decent number of players. I want everyone to stay fit. I want everyone to stay healthy. Then the first question in Questions Corner is gaming advice, which I do not believe would be very helpful for the majority of people. So I'll take this one. If it was fit, he could play DM. He could. I don't necessarily want him to, just because I don't think he's got like the oomph, the energy. I don't know. I don't think he brings what Ampadu brings, which is guaranteed passion every single time, which is a shame. But that's how it is. For the video, folks, see you later. But for the stream, folks, you're staying right here. I hope. If you're not staying right here, that's okay. Enjoy your evening. But we do actually still have a Sunderland preview to cover. And what I've done is I've made 2 whole things of banners. I know. I've put effort in. It's weird. I don't do that. I am going to answer Colin's question, though, because I have spotted it twice, and I'm like, I kind of want to cover this one. Cool. After some gaming advice, just got a PS4. I'm a pure novice. The controller has a lead which my kit attacks. Can I get a wireless one? And if so, is it easy to set up? Yes. Basically, this one. It sorts itself out, which is good. How long Schmidt's supposed to be out? It seemed like it was a doubt for the Norwich match, which tells me that it's not super serious. I would probably say after the international break, if I'm being completely honest with you, because of the way that it was portrayed to everyone. Which, fair enough. I mean, it was portrayed fairly well, I would say. But we are going to hop into our quick little Sunderland preview. We'll go back to Questions Corner shortly, but for now, let's talk Sunderland, and let's talk the fact that currently Sunderland are sat at the top of the Championship, which is not hugely what you want to be seeing when your side is wobbly, when your side is a little bit unsteady with the number of injuries that we've had at the minute. And I thought we might be in trouble here until I took a little bit of a deeper dive into Sunderland's stuff. Had a look at the numbers, had a look at the statistics, the way that they play, all that sort of stuff. And I'm feeling not super awful. I'm not feeling the worst. First up, in terms of attacking wise, this is one that I wasn't expecting to see. We have created more chances than Sunderland this season. Pure XG, we've created 13.3. They've created 11. In terms of creativity, by that metric, they are the 8th best side in the league, which is a really good spot for us to be in. And if you want to look at more numbers, you can look at... If I can find it, I can't find it. Yeah, you can look at total number of shots where they are significantly lower than us. If you have a look at shots on target, they are significantly lower than us. We've had the most shots on target in the league so far. Jesus. And if you look at goals, they are slightly better off than us. And that would be because of their deadly finishing. In every single match that I was able to spot, they have outperformed their XG. They've not underperformed on XG in any game this season so far. Opening day of the season, XG of 1.8, scored twice. Sheffield Wednesday, XG of 1.6, score 4. Burnley, 0.7, score 1. Portsmouth, 2, score 3. Plymouth, 1.7, score 2. Even then, they somehow lost the match. Middlesbrough, 1.1, they scored 1, but come on. I'm not gonna have a go at 0.1, am I? Watford, XG of 1, score 1. Most recent match, Derby County, XG of 1, score twice. Which is scary. Tells me that their finishing is going to be terrifying. They're going to be elite at the top of the pitch. And it's not even an issue of they've got one goal scorer who is vastly outperforming everything. No, that's not the case. Romain Mondel has scored 3 from an XG of 1 and a bit. Luke O'Nien has scored twice from an XG of 1 and a bit. There's only one player. No, wait. There's a couple of players that have scored for them that are underperforming. But they've got goals coming from everywhere. They've had 10 goal scorers so far in the Championship this season and scored 15 goals. That's how good they are at passing those chances around and making sure that everyone has an opportunity, which is something that we'll need to be safe against. But one second. But we have conceded fewer chances than them. Now, this is with a pretty big caveat. This is with the fact that that has been with Ethan Ampadu on the pitch and Gruev on the pitch, who are doing that holding midfielding job. But it is still good for us. Like, expected goals against, we are the best in the league. Sunderland are 7th. But again, the issue when you're playing Sunderland at the moment is they're really good at overperforming on all the metrics. And they've got the 3rd best advanced keeping stats in the league. Specifically, that measures the sort of quality of a chance after it's been hit against the number of goals that someone concedes and says, right, okay, you're making the saves that you should. How's things going? Their side has the 3rd best goalkeeping in the division. And we are mid-table-ish off the top of my head, if I remember right. Yeah, we're roughly sort of mid-table area. They're only behind Swansea and Plymouth at the moment. And you've got to consider the fact that Swansea and Plymouth get peppered. So we're really going to have to make that goalkeeper work. We're really going to have to get our finishing on point if we want to make the chances that we create count. And we're going to have to make sure that we're just as secure as can be. Because the big concern for me is that we have the best expected goal difference in the league at the moment. That's fine. That's all good. But at the end of the day, Millwall's is 3rd best. And they are 16th in the league. What counts is the goals that go in the back of the net. Yes, you can get an idea of performance from all the other things. And that is mostly what I look at because performance is fantastic. We love it. But at the end of the day, it's not the performance that gets you the 3 points. It's the ball in the back of the net, and that's where I think we'll be okay. But we need to keep the injuries in mind. We need to make sure that we are not only replacing the players that were injured, but rotating our replacements as well. Because now we know, okay, we are very thin in central midfield. We went from maybe a week ago thinking our centre of midfield looks spectacular. 4 centre mids, all of whom could start, to, oh shit, 2. Because the others are gone for at least 3 months. One of them probably 6 to 9 months. So we're going to have to make sure that Rothwell and Tanaka are managed. We're going to have to, at points, bring in crew. We might have to bring Jamie back at some point. But that's the worry. At least in my opinion. Who knows? In addition to that, Sunderland have fairly little possession, 45.4%, but it works for them. And the 2 times they have lost has been very, very highly transitional, and they've only lost matches when they've had the majority of possession. Feels like a situation in which our best chance of 3 points is going to be a big risk. Because our best chance of getting all 3 points here is going to be make it transitional, use the fact that Tanaka and Rothwell have incredible passing range, and maybe it works out. But that also leaves us open, and that means we've got a decent chance of conceding. And if we've got a decent chance of conceding, we've got a decent chance of losing, and none of us want that. So, hopping into it, I'm just going to do quick predicted lineup, predicted result, then I'm going to swing us over to questions corner, see what you guys think. Lineup, we've not really got a choice. Melia goes in net. Bogle, Strike, Rodon, Firpo, makes sense. Tanaka and Rothwell are our only senior central midfielders, so this one is just sort of rational. Ramazani, Aronson, Nonto, you can't really replace any of those at the moment, and then Matteo Joseph at the top. And in terms of predicted result, I'm going to go with a... Head is saying 0-0, heart is saying 1-0. I'll go with a 1-0 win. Sod it, let's be optimists. But let me know what your predicted results are in the chat. And we will also have a saunter over to our favourite place, a nice wholesome spot, to Questions Corner, where we all have a nice little hangout. It's a good time. It's a good vibe. It's fan dabby dozy. We love it over here. But yeah, there is big conversation to be had, I think, which is spooky. Do we go with a few under 21s in the FA Cup, as the league is super important this year? That's the question, isn't it? It depends. It depends on what our injuries are looking like at that point. If our squad looks like it is right now when it comes to the FA Cup, that point becomes a, oh dear, big rotated side. Like you're talking Byram, Gelhardt, DeBayo, Chambers, that gang. If we've got a bit more of a squad by that point, sod it, it'll be fine. Stick with a bit of rotation, but not too much. Because I like a cup run. I don't like us losing in the cup. It makes me sad. But I don't know. Is there any value to Joffrey in midfield? I don't think so. I think there's maybe value to him as a 10. But I don't know if he could do the box-to-box stuff, and I don't know if he could do the defensive side of stuff that is what we're missing at the minute. So it's tough. Could you imagine if Joseph scores that could kickstart his scoring spree? His confidence will be over the moon. Oh, imagine. Just imagine if we come out of the blocks tomorrow, it goes really, really well, and we score 2. And they're both for Joseph. And that, so nice. Got a question which I don't know why is Gelhardt known as Joffrey. It's my favourite fun fact. When signing for Leeds, Joe Gelhardt's mum in a tweet referred to him as Joffrey, and it's sort of stuck ever since. Which is, it's nice, you know? I like that we've got a cutesy little nickname for him. It makes me happy. It's kind of cute. 2-0 Leeds, Nonto and a Pascal penalty. Don't know if we get a penalty. That's where I'm not certain. And we are assuming that Pascal doesn't get injured at this point. Switching with Aronson. Even then, I'm not sure about Aronson in the centre of midfield right now. As a 10, brilliant. General central midfield is don't know. Schmidt coming back tomorrow. If he trained today, do we start him? Oh, don't know. Probably not. Because match sharpness is very much a thing. And if your players aren't match sharp, they're not going to be performing at their best. And you need to be your best against Sunderland. And Schmidt has played a total of 9 minutes this season, which says, okay, maybe that's not the shout this time. I think he'll be on the bench. This is what I'd say. If he's fit, he's on the bench. He doesn't start for me. Purely because of the sharpness thing, by the way. Like, I massively rate the guy. But I think it'd be a little bit too much of a risk to say, you've just been injured. In you come. Bad idea. Spooky idea. Unfun idea. Who was right earlier? Me and JT are just show. I'm never going to back JT in an argument about football because that man's ball knowledge is under the floor. Is not good. He's not going to get much sharpness unless he starts or gets half an hour. He is, though. On this, by the way, JT knows his stuff. However, I think the way that I've phrased it before, imagine he's on the stream right now. The way I've phrased it before is JT doesn't talk about football. JT does promos about football. He goes full pro wrestler, which eventually leads to him sort of talking himself into positions that he might not necessarily take, such as where he was being like pretending to be on your Farker outside here, because he was like, you know what, I feel like this is where the promo is taking me, and he just rolls with it. And fair enough, I wish I had the sort of talking ability to do that, but I mean, fair enough. It's in the same way that, like, and right, this is going to be a spoiler for you guys. One moment. Yeah, this cheeky little spoiler for you, right? I do the exact same thing when it comes to the Patrick Bamford stuff. Don't tell anyone. Everyone thinks it's legitimate. No, I'm also in the shoes of, to be honest, I don't want Pat starting right now because you need to give Matteo that match experience early in the season, so it's not what happened last season when it was sensible to not chuck him right into the team. I think he is a very, very good forward, but I don't think it's currently his time. That's it. It's a generally, I like Pat, but I over push the extent to which I back him because I think it sort of adds to the sort of the culture and allure of the interwebs and the Leeds United space, which is good. It's great. What? No, you never. I'm like that with the Far Cry. Yeah, I know. It's great. I can tell. But that's the thing. I play back into it because it's more fun to do that because the number of people that will lose their head over what is basically just calmness and fine. The annoying thing with YouTube is if you have an opinion and you say, this is a fairly sensible opinion, and this is just held to a normal degree, everyone sort of goes, oh, you're sitting on the fence, are you? It's like, no. But I'm acknowledging that things can change over time. It's not, I can. So that's why with the Bamford thing, I'm like, fuck it, lean into it. Let's see what people think. It'd be great. For me, Joseph, it's another month if not a change is needed. Another month to do what? Is my counter question. Because this is where I think there's a conversation about what the role of a centre forward actually is. Because everyone says that a striker's job is to score goals. It isn't. The job of a striker and a number 10 and a winger and a central midfielder and a centre back and a right back and a left back and a goalkeeper is to do what they can to make the team more likely to win the match. It does not matter what form that comes in, because it can be goal scoring, fine, but it can be what Mateo Joseph is doing, which is creating a decent number of chances with very good hold-up play. He's got 3 assists and has scored this season. The people being like, he's not doing his job, he is. Because he's doing all of the groundwork that you'd expect from any number 9. And creating opportunities. And yeah, sometimes his finish isn't there, but he's young. It happens. Yeah. And I think the reason that Peru looks so good right now is because the hard work that Mateo does sort of, it lays that foundation. It tires out the defense and it says, right, okay, you've worked your bollocks off. Now you've got a guy that scored 40 goals across 2 championship seasons. Good luck. And it's great. It's perfect. Yeah, Firmino. Perfect reference. He's not necessarily the goal scorer. You know who is? Salah, Mane, or in our case, Nonto Ramazani. And it works. And I'm not going to complain about that. To be clear, other people moaned that he didn't score. Not me. I've been back in the game. I think this is where I'm going to pull out my favourite book again. Just some required reading for various Leeds United fans, I think. See the hidden value. What football players bring across the pitch. Wonder what else there is. But yeah, there's a bunch of things. It's great. I'll lend that book to Sean now. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. It's very tempting. On this one, right. Okay. So, I'm gonna run you through this one, right? And this is one that kind of bugged me. This is one that I'm gonna have to go into a little bit of detail on, and it might take me a second. So, what's happened with the penalty? And this is sort of relying on a screenshot that I got from a certain Mr. Wayneman. But the reason that I'm backing Meslier to an extent on this one is, one, it's a penalty. If you're going to complain that a goalkeeper hasn't saved a penalty, don't know what you're doing here. I'll be completely honest with you. 2, just a quick little cheeky little screen share. Which window is it? It's this window. Hey, there we go. Snipping tool. Hello. Cool. Right. So here we are. As the penalty is taken at this stage, what Meslier has done is he's set himself and moved his weight fairly early. Hence, leg spread. What you want to be doing as a goalkeeper is being in a sort of supple position, crouched-ish, where you're in like a sort of a third of the way down to a squat, so you're ready to spring off your legs. What's happened in this specific instance is that Meslier has tried to outweight the forward, which is fine. That's something that a lot of goalkeepers do. But once you're in this position, once you are right here, once you have the legs spread, it's really hard to have like a change of reaction. So he's clearly set himself to go, right, okay, I'm going to lean sort of, for you guys, this way. You're going to head to the goalkeeper's right. Issue is, ball then comes here. Which means that what he immediately has to do is go, oh shit, and then becomes basically someone whose bottom half is pushing them this way, whilst the top half is pushing them this way, and you just sort of rotate. And I've just realized, don't, right, for the person that is currently helping me in StreamYard, don't do the messaging from StreamYard, because please note that the stream is coming from my account. Look who it says sent the message. Don't. So it leads to him sort of like rotating a little bit and not being able to get to the ball. And yeah, basically this very thing, the reason I got a little bit defensive on it, it happened to me on fucking Monday night goalkeeping for a match. And then I see it happen on Tuesday. And it's like, no, because you can't get down there because your momentum's going one way and the rest of you needs to go fuck other direction. And it doesn't work at all. It's not a save that you can feasibly make. It doesn't happen. And the people that were like, well, Melier should have stopped that. One, again, it's a penalty. Two, if he's committed to the dive to the right, you don't say that. The only reason people were mad at that was because he tried to adjust to save it. So if you would have rather he just dived to the right-hand side and looked less silly, then sure. But I'm quite happy to have a goalkeeper that is more than happy to look a bit of a tit to try and make the save. Because that's what counts in it. Like, at the end of the day, that's what you want your goalkeeper to do. You want them to do what they can to help you win the match. And that's what he do. Does Melier ever save a penalty? I can't remember. But to be fair, there's plenty of goalkeepers that aren't very good at penalties. Has he committed too early? I don't think so. I think what he's done is he's tried to commit too late. Because if in your head as a goalkeeper you think, okay, I'm going to go this way or I'm going to go this way, no one complains at you. No one. One sec. I think he's waited a bit too long. And then from that point, he's been like, I wasn't quite able to read where he's wanted to put it, so I'll want to go the other direction. And then he's tried to react to that after sort of committing in the middle, which doesn't work. But that's a problem. Have I heard any more from Susan? I have not heard any more from Susan. But to be fair, she was also dealing with a stabbing, so I can let Susan off. I'll be completely honest with you. Pens of Swords, I'm half dead to the world, so just popping in to like the stream. Thank you very much. Also, if anyone else hasn't liked the stream, follow our favourite Talking Peacocks guide and pop a like on it. It'd be massively appreciated. Be very helpful. I'm going to try and get to 50 in this stream. That'd be nice. And there's 68 of you, so give me a hand. Some say you didn't commit early enough, Melia can't win in this. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, you're a goalkeeper and it's a penalty. And every single time that there is any form of change to the rules around penalties, it's in the direction to make them easier to score. So yeah, there was that one where you can't stop your run-up, but you can still piss about in any other way that you want to. And then at the same time, there's rules coming in where it's like, well, you see, if you're a goalkeeper, you're not actually allowed to leave your line at all because that might make things a little bit tough for the penalty taker. Oh, no, you're not allowed to do anything distracting at all. That might make the penalty taker sad. Stop it. No, just... I know I have a goalkeeper bias. I know this. But penalty rules are fucked beyond belief. It is genuinely madness. And I've literally no idea why they keep making them tougher for goalkeepers. Right, okay. Idea for a change in penalty rules, right? What you do is you say, okay, it is just the goalkeeper and the penalty taker, fine. And okay, you have to have the goalkeeper somewhere on their line, but with no one else in the box, you have to take your penalty from where the foul took place. I fixed it. Because then, if it's a penalty that's like on the byline and someone's done a front flip because someone pretended to tackle them, it's not really worth that much, is it? No. And then what? You got scythed down by the goalkeeper 6 yards out. Congrats, you've got a penalty that you can score. I think it makes more sense. I think you just go MLS penalties and then that'll do it. Thinking back, I've done something very similar to what Melia did, but quite frankly, I was flat-footed while the pen trickled across the line, so embarrassing. I guarantee I've had a more embarrassing penalty situation. I've played one game of 11 aside in my life. Well, no, wait, two. Two games of 11 aside in my life. One of them I was in net for just the second half. The other one I played all the way through. And this was in spite of the fact that I'd been told you'll play net for half an hour going into it. The 7-a-side goalkeeper in me thought that was the worst experience I've ever gone through. Examples include a goal that they scored from a corner when stamping on my foot, therefore stopping me from diving. I literally couldn't dive. I tried to, and I was just anchored to the floor, and I was like, "Ref, are we not given?" And then we conceded 2 penalties, one of which I saved, and then the forward kicked as hard as he could directly at me, because it was one of those where got your hand to it, push it out a bit. Striker got to it first, just twatted it at me again, and it deflected off my face into the corner of the net. And then another one where penalty taker put it in exactly the same place. I dived for it, hit my hand, went in anyway. Stupid goalkeeping. Stupid position. Nonsense. Ugh. I back Rotherland and I could do a job in midfield. I'll have to manage their minutes to keep them fit. Yeah, this is why things get a bit spooky. Because we're going to need to get them rotated. We're going to need to make sure that everyone has not too many minutes. That's why I'm not mad about the Ramazani and Nanto subs in the week. Because we need them uninjured. Yeah, it looks like there's a very, very nice chill conversation going on in the chat, which sod it. Let's get into it. I was 2-footed. I really pissed goalkeepers off. As in, you were tackled with 2 feet, or you played with 2 feet, because that could be both things. In a happy mood, that's all can't beat. And oh, I love a good hoodie. Well, I do until you get the nice heated blanket that you can hide under throughout the winter months. I think what we should do is we should have like cozy streams where it's just like, hold on, pull the mic over and just go full cozy mode. Keep an eye on the chat. Oh. There we go. Cozy stream, you know? It's a good time. The best bit about this chair, it leans back so far it's got a nap mode. Best way I've seen, the taker has a tailbow where he puts the ball. It's usually slightly to one side, but you dive in that direction. Now, the thing is, I don't tend to like... is that a Buster Frazier? No, it's my very ironic Karl Marx money box. Because I was like, that guy didn't like money. You know what we should put the money in? Him. Yeah, with the penalty taking tell. Because I do mainly 7-a-side rather than 11. When I dive across the net, I can cover most of the net with me. And there's one side that I can dive further on than the other. So I will start on one post for every single penalty that I face, and I will just sort of dive across the entire thing. Because either they try and put it where I'm diving away from, where I've tried to leave my feet, or they put it to where I know they want to put the ball, where I've got a slightly better chance of stopping it, which helps. But I've been a forward more recently since, which means, and I've not taken penalties because I'm very much in the create chances for other people realm of strikers. I'm not very good. But you know what? It'll do. Sometimes they end up in net, but not that often. I'm glad you like him. Good old Charlie. Took penalty with the outside of the foot. Keeper was in the other direction. You little bastard. Cheeky bugger. Do you have any creepy horror games for the PS4? Ooh. Okay, I would recommend the game Outlast, which is a spooky dooky game. Is one that I played on a Halloween stream. Not a Halloween stream. It was one I played on a charity stream. Very good. I didn't play all of it. I played like the first chunk, but I will. And Alien Isolation is also good. So I will pop those in the chat for you, just because it makes things a little bit easy. And then Alien Isolation makes it easier to Google for you. But those are quite good. Would you rather be cold all winter or keep Farker in the Prem? Sure, that's the cruelest thing I've ever seen. Keep Farker in the Prem because that means Leeds doing well. Ooh, that's a good point. But you should. You're doing a Halloween stream, so you sort of need to do a horror game at some point. Perhaps I've never missed a penalty. I have also never missed a competitive penalty because I've never taken a competitive penalty ever. Because I'm not someone that kicks the ball that hard. You just like doing the shimmy, the stutter, and whack it in the net. That's the annoying thing, isn't it? I think if you're allowed to do the stutter stepping bullshit, goalkeepers are allowed to leave the line. Nearly accidentally started a stream. Oops. In my name or yours? Stop stealing my damn views, Jesus. Honestly, unacceptable. Well, I mean, it's completely acceptable. It's fine. But thanks, Joe, as I'm telling you, gaming. Alien Isolation could be a problem for you in that case. Outlast, I very much didn't like. Purely because I do not enjoy horror games. Not for me. Prefer five-a-side indoors and the goal's tiny, so hard to score pens. That's why I like 7. The ball's like, not ball, the goal is like a reasonable size for both the keeper and the forward. And I lean outside as well. Yours, OBS. Well, just start one. It's fine. Do a co-stream. Be nice. Yeah, I think I like the outside as well. Just because, like, indoor football is, 1, the floor hurt. 2, I quite like the way that, like, weather plays an impact. It's really good. Start with Skyrim, a good go-to starter. Skyrim's fantastic. I've played the life out of Skyrim. What was I doing? What was I thinking? I can't remember. Oh dear. I haven't played Alan Wake, which is fun. I'm meaning to get around to it, but I just... It's just one of those, innit? I might consider a look. If I can be bothered. But at the same time, I've not played like either of the Red Deads. because it's like I mentioned on the stream earlier. It's like with like The Godfather and stuff. It's like, what if I think it's shit? Because I know Red Dead 2 is like a long game. But then again, do I just have weird taste? Because I quite like Starfield and a lot of people didn't. And I've never quite understood why so many people are like, ugh, Starfield. It's fantastic. It's great. Admittedly, small game. But that's not in a bad way. You will not think Red Dead 2 is shit, it's class. I'm not saying I'll think it's shit, I just, like, I don't know. I don't want to be in a situation where I go into a game being like, oh, it's potentially the best game of all time, and it turns out kind of mid. Like, yeah. Oh, my lunch from Fright and Crime. How are you, Joe? Also, any spare... I think I got a couple in the garage. I'll have a look for you, and I'll get back to you on that. Maybe. Did the 10 restarts in Starfield? I didn't. I just restart whenever I feel like it's sort of like... eh. When I feel like I've done the quest that I want to in any given universe. Although, spoilers, I'm not going to go too far into Starfield spoilers, because I didn't expect that way of doing a New Game Plus. Because it's not even a New Game Plus, because yeah. This is devastating. It makes my soul hurt. New God of War is epic. Wait, was that Ragnarok? Might have been Ragnarok. I wouldn't know. Don't tend to go around sniffing women, but Danny, if that's your choice, then go for it. Enjoying Star Wars Outlaws 2. I've not given that one a go. Oh, the Jedi Fallen Order games. God. Oh, wait, hold on. Did it go Jedi Survivor and then Jedi Fallen Order? Was Fallen Order the most recent one? I've played both of them. Survivor is the most recent one. Survivor is a banger. Played the shit out of that. It's so good. I don't know if it's on PS4 though. But on that, just to get through to EA, please, 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 please don't fuck up the third one. Because we know it's in development. Don't get it wrong. I beg of you. I beg. It's got to go well. Survivor's new one. Yeah. For some reason, it's only a 6 out of 10 on Steam. Is that... That'd be because it came out and it ran like absolute shit on PC, didn't it? So that explains it. Yeah, third game is currently in development. Is there any news on the sequel? Asmussen stated that he planned the Star Wars Jedi series to be a trilogy, with the possible third installment using the new Unreal Engine 5. In September 2023, he announced that the team were in the process of making a third game right now. He left EA to form his own company in 2023, but oh shit, the game director left. Veteran Respawn leaders will be stepping up to guide the team as they continue the work on the game. At a September 2024 presentation to investors, Laura Meal announced that the third game was in production, confirming it would be the final game in the series. Scary. Scary, scary, scary. I want it to go well. If it doesn't, I'm going to have a cheeky little Menti B. I'm not giving that one a go. It feels a little bit too Souls-like, and I'm not that much of a fan of Souls-likes. They seem tiring and high effort. I say this, I'm playing War Thunder, but yeah, Not only did it get the better armor skin, I thought it gave it better shit, but it didn't. What have I missed here? Oh, the restarts in Starfield. Yeah. No. No, it wouldn't. Absolutely not. I was saying she smells with her nose before the sun was on my eyes and I was blinded, so I hit enter by accident. You understand, guys? Ah, get you. Right. She does smell with her nose, as far as I'm aware. The company that made Lemmings went on to become Rockstar Games. True, and I currently do not like Rockstar Games very much. Because let's have a quick look. Rockstar Games. Let's have a look at your game publishing history, shall we? What the fuck? There's a Rockstar Leeds? Is it Rockstar North that makes Grand Theft Auto? I think so. Yeah. So, GTA 6. Let's have a look. Is expected in Q3 or 4 of 2025. So you're telling me that it took Rockstar North 12 years 12 to do a sequel to GTA 5. 12. Yeah, well done. You did Red Dead Redemption 2. Fucking hell, lads. When GTA 5 came out, it came out on the PS3. We are now at the PS5 Pro. Just do better. Just please do better. Thought stuff was going to be more like No Man's Sky with more open world was this point. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. I think what happened was Bethesda had an idea, went for the idea, and it didn't quite work. But that's fine. Let's prevent Iniesta from retiring and get him in. We need. Jeez. One of their studios is the one that everyone knows is in Edinburgh. For 12 years, that's nothing but for the. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to remind me. The Elder Scrolls 6, let's have a look at the Wikipedia article for you. Right, when did Skyrim came out in 2011. The game was formally announced during Bethesda's conference at E3. For context, E3 doesn't exist anymore in 2018. And Todd Howard presented a short teaser trailer, revealing that the project had started pre-production. In June 2023, Phil Spencer provided an update on the game's release timing at a Federal Trade Commission hearing concerning Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Reminder, this was in 2023. Phil Spencer provided an update that the game's release timing was still estimated to be 5+ years away. Anticipated to launch in 2026 at the earliest in leaked documents. No! Fuck! Bastards. Absolute bastard. When's Lemmings out? Quite some time ago. But yeah, what I'm going to do, because I've been streaming for an hour, is I'm going to open Questions Corner for 3 more questions. The next 3 questions that I see. Yeah, then I'll end the stream. Because I'm a very, 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 very tired boy that is very, very, very much ready for a snooze. If I can do a snooze. Wasn't really able to yesterday because brain go brr, but I don't know how that's going to go this time. But now yeah. I just want Elder Scrolls 6. How's Nora? She's okay, I think. She seems more okay than she did yesterday, which is good. And that's the sort of the concern. Is how does she just generally get by? Surely AI will make grain creation quicker. I'm taking this as a question. No. Because having worked with AI quite a lot, it's got a lot of errors. And that is a problem for me. Because you'd end up having to do just as much time in quality assurance as you would otherwise. How do you make rowan berry jam? You jam up some rowan berries. Who'd start in the 9 and 10 tomorrow? 9, Joseph, 10, Aronson. It was about Leeds forgot. Lol, should be happy with the draw. Yeah, I'm happy with the draw. Anyway, I'm going to call it there. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. I'll pop the video that I recorded out in the morning, but you guys have seen it already. But I'd hugely appreciate you popping onto that and liking it and stuff like that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you later. Ta-ra. If the stream ends.